by senior BJP politicians as well as members of the Sangh Ghar. In response, Christian MPs from all parties in Parliament have formed a special body to keep a watch on the developing situation. But how does the Catholic Church view what's happening? And is it satisfied with the response from the authorities? To answer those questions, my guest is the head of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, Cardinal Baselios Cleemis. Cardinal Cleemis, in the last few months there have been a spate of attacks on Christian churches, nuns and priests. This has happened in Delhi, Bengal, Haryana, but to be honest, it's happened in several other places in the country as well. As head of the Catholic Church, how do you respond to these attacks?
This is a very painful situation. The tragic events are done in various parts of the country, especially on the attack of the minorities, specifically on the Christian communities. Something sad, something tragic, something which is alarming.
Now, the Archbishop of Delhi fairly recently said that he believed these attacks were orchestrated. He said there was an agenda behind them. Do you agree with that view?
Well, we have various responses on this particular subject of attack on Christians, depending on different perspectives and various experiences. I must say, these are not incidents in isolation.
By which you mean that in fact there is a pattern behind them?
I am not able to judge anyone now, but there is a conscious effort, at least from certain corners, some certain people, to misguide the whole community in India, I mean the general society.
Last week, Giulio Robero, one of India's most senior and distinguished former police officers, wrote in the Indian Express, and I'm quoting him. He said, "I feel threatened, not wanted, reduced to a stranger in my country." And then he added, "I am not an Indian anymore, at least in the eyes of the proponents of the Hindu Rashtra." In your opinion, does that view reflect the sentiments and thinking of many more Christians? Or is it just Giulio Robero's point of view?
I don't want to share exactly the words spoken, but there are a lot of people who feel that their Christian identity is being questioned, Indian Christian identity is being questioned, and it gives certain sense of sadness.
When you say there are a lot of people who feel their Christian identity is being questioned, are you saying that people are questioning the right of Christians to be considered full-fledged Indians? Is that what it amounts to?
No, what I mean to say is, who are the citizens of this country? If not all those who believe in various religions, various faith formulations, and even those who are not believing in any religion at all, to all of them belong this great country of ours.
So what you're saying to me is that Christians are as much citizens of India as Hindus or Muslims or anyone else. They are equal and equivalent citizens of India as anyone else. Have I understood that correctly?
All the people, all the citizens of this country are equal, not on the basis of religious faith. Am I clear?
You are indeed clear. Therefore, at the moment, when these attacks are happening on churches, priests and nuns, when there is a commentary that seems to question the identity and the right of Christians to be Christians, does your flock feel apprehensive and worried? Do some Christians feel insecure?
I am worried in the sense that this attack on Christians on various parts of the country. But I am not depressed, because I am fully conscious of my identity and the Christian citizens of this country, that they are full-fledged citizens of this great nation.
Now, last month, Cardinal Cleemis, in a very powerful speech at a meeting organized by the Syro-Malabar Catholic Church, Prime Minister Modi said, and I'm quoting him, "My government will not allow any religious group belonging to the majority or to the minority to incite hatred against others overtly or covertly." At the time, the church welcomed this statement. But now, a month later, do you feel the Prime Minister's statement is either being ignored, or do you feel that it hasn't had the effect you hoped it would?
I think the promise has to be taken seriously by everyone in the country, especially the people in governance.
But do you fear that that statement is not being taken seriously at the moment? Is that your fear and concern?
The incidents show that not everybody has taken it seriously.
Do you believe the time has come for the Prime Minister to say or do more? Are you looking for further action from the government to give greater protection, to give greater assurance to Christians?
I mean to say in a different way, who are being attacked? Indians, whether they are Hindus or Muslims or Christians or any religion, the Christians are attacked. When the citizens are attacked, who are there to protect them, if not the government?
In other words, you're saying it's the duty of the government, when citizens are under attack, regardless of what their religion may be, to be there to protect them.
Exactly.
Let's focus a little, Cardinal Cleemis, on last week's attack on a church in Hisar, Haryana. The Chief Minister of the state, Mr. Khattar, said in the State Assembly that the priest was luring Hindu youth by promising them brides. Simultaneously, VHP Joint General Secretary Surendra Jain claimed that the church in Haryana was primarily built for purposes of conversion. How do you respond to the Chief Minister and to the Joint General Secretary of the VHP?
About the particular incident and event, I have not studied deeply, but I must say the Christians do their service not for the purpose of any particular divisive act or to induce someone or to take them to the Christian community by power or anything. I can assure you that the Christians do preach the gospel for the sake of love, compassion and charity.
So do you reject the claim made by the Haryana Chief Minister that the priest of that church, I believe his name was Subhash Chand, was luring Hindu youth by promising them brides? Do you reject the claim of the VHP Joint General Secretary that the primary purpose of that church was to convert Hindus to Christianity? Do you reject both those assertions?
The particular incident and the subsequent explanations can be given from that particular church and the parish priest. I am not in a position to judge what has actually happened there.
You're leaving open the possibility that the Chief Minister may be right in his claim.
I am not to canonize anyone now, but I leave the matter for just and verified truth.
All right. Let me broaden our discussion a little. There is a view held particularly by those who are critical of the Christian church and most prominently by those who carry out these horrible attacks, that in fact the church seeks to convert Hindus to Christianity. This may not be true of the Catholic Church, but as Philip Goldberg, writing in HuffingtonPost.com last year said, it's often true of the smaller evangelical fundamentalist sects who in their literature and in their comments are dismissive if not contemptuous of the Hindu faith, the number of Hindu gods, the Hindu style of worship. As head of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, are you critical of these evangelical fundamentalist sects? Are you dissociating your Catholic Church from them?
I am appreciative of the great Constitution of India that the citizens are free to choose any religion, to believe in, to practice it and to propagate. And this is what the Constitution of India guarantees. And if anyone preaches his or her belief is constitutional.
So would I be right in concluding from your answer that you believe the behavior of these evangelical fundamentalist sects, and I underline once again, that's not the Catholic faith, I'm talking about small evangelical fundamentalist Christian sects, that their behavior in your eyes is unconstitutional. Am I correct in coming to that conclusion?
All Christians have the right to believe, to practice and to propagate, and any event or any attempt to convert anyone by force is done by any religious faithful is wrong.
So any conversion by force or by allurement is completely unacceptable. Is that right, sir?
Is unethical.
It's unethical.
Yes.
But is it also unacceptable and wrong?
Is unacceptable and wrong.
Now, in response to the belief that the Christian church is luring Hindus by conversion, and I believe at a point of time not so long ago, the head of the RSS even used the word loot to describe this, organizations like the Dharm Jagran Manch and the Bajrang Dal have launched a Ghar Vapasi campaign. And even after the Prime Minister's very powerful statement in February, the VHP Joint General Secretary insists, as he's told the Times of India, that Ghar Vapasi will continue. How do you, as head of the Catholic Church in India, view Ghar Vapasi?
We all do stand by the assurance of the Constitution, but the terms Ghar Vapasi and such subsequent acts do really confuse people. In a solemn way, converting somebody to one religion and making it as a sign of victory is not something bad for the secular country of ours.
So do you view Ghar Vapasi as unconstitutional?
Anybody has the right to join any religion, and the same person has the right to go back to the religion or to join some other religion. That is fair and constitutional anytime. But we have to keep in mind this is a free choice of the person and the citizen, and if it is done in a very celebrative, solemn way by a group of people, how can we call it?
So the celebratory nature of the Ghar Vapasi campaign is in your eyes both offensive and unconstitutional, because it suggests that it's not a voluntary campaign, it's happening by either force or allurement. Have I understood you correctly?
As it stands, the person has the freedom, or the persons have the freedom to choose any religion. But the celebrative mood of a big gang or a group to make it in a public social event which offenses people, whether be it Christian or Hindu or Muslim or any religion.
Cardinal Cleemis, let's take a break at that point. When I come back, I want to broaden our discussion and put to you the core belief of the RSS, which says that all Indians are Hindus, Hindutva is their culture, and ask you, how do you as head of the Catholic Church respond to that assertion?